how you doing? Welcome to another time here. And at the book club, this is what we gotta do, 2 p.m. Every Sunday afternoon, 2 p.m. West African time. Thanks for coming. Thanks for making a time here with me. I've been doing a study here through seventh book in our series, The Amen Effect. That's what we've been doing for the last 2, 3 months now. We finished chapter 7 last Sunday. We're in chapter 8 today, which is the last chapter in the book. And then we're going to go through epilogue. That's an epilogue chapter. So we're going to do that and maybe do a summary of the whole book. So we might have another 2 Sunday or so after today. That's assuming that we're able to finish chapter 8 today. Then we'll do the epilogue. We'll do a summary. Probably have next Sunday or maybe next 2 Sundays to be done with the book. And then we'll go to our eighth book in the series. Eighth book in the series is the gold mine effect. Gold mine effect. Crack the secrets of high performance by Rasmus Ankersen. I'm excited about doing this book to open the new year. For me, it's how to power 2025. We've done well in 2024. With 2024, we need to take it up another level. It's not, we don't relax, we don't go backwards, we go forward. We've done well in 2024. We need to rack it up another level and power it into 2025. Whatever it is we have done well in 2024, we need to do more in 2025. We need to do more in 2025. We'll take it up a notch or 2 or 3 or 4. We need to do more in 2025, and we're just going to go and power ourselves into 2025. That's what I'm looking up to. That's my belief. That's my faith. That's my desire, and that's what's going to happen in the name of Jesus. Thanks for coming along. So we've been doing a book here, the Amen Effect, talking about ancient wisdom to mend our broken hearts and world by Rabbi Sharon Brous. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed this last 2, 3 months doing this. I've enjoyed it, and I just hope you've enjoyed it also. So it's something that's going to live with me for the rest of my life. Something that has changed my life. It's come off our sixth book, The Good Life. And that changed my life also. This is building on that. And I'm looking forward to our next book, The Gold Mine Effect, that will just revolutionize my life. Another step in the evolution of my life to the perfect person, towards a perfect person. Not that any of us is going to become perfect before we leave here, but we'll keep on pressing towards it. We'll press towards perfection so that we can achieve excellence in this life. Excellence is what we can achieve in this life. We can achieve perfection in this life because there's always going to be room to get better. There's always going to be something to learn, to grow. Bible would say that we know in part. But we need to, because we know in part, it's no excuse not to know. Some people use that as an excuse not to press on in life. That is foolishness. That's stupidity, right? For as long as we are alive, the requirement for us is that we grow. The word of God says that the path of the righteous is like the morning star. It shines brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter unto the perfect day. It doesn't relax. It shines brighter and brighter and brighter unto the perfect day. That needs to be our portion. That needs to be our push. That needs to be our trust. So thanks for coming. So we're going to go in here and go into chapter 8 of the book today. And it talks about the need to just taking another step in all we've been talking about. The need to see the humanity in one another, right? Pretty much said 2 parables, pretty much summarized the book for me. One is that when Jesus asks, who is your neighbor, and your neighbor is the person that sees the human in you. Simply, is not the person that takes religion above humanity. It's not the one that takes his busy schedule above humanity. It's not the person that takes tribe above humanity. day is a person that understands that at the end of the day, after it's all said and done, we are all human. We're all human and equal before God, right? None is better than the other. We're all equal. In God, there's no brother, sister, mother, father, child, Jew, Greek, Christian, Muslim. We're all just human before God, and we're all the same, right? We all proceed from God, and we're all going to go back to God. Our spirits came from God. Our spirits will return back to God. But right? So in that sense, we're all the same. Right, we all have a red blood that flows inside of us. It doesn't matter the color of your skin, the color of your blood is red. Right, we all have the same blood that flows in on the inside of us. We're all human at the end of the day. We're all born, we're all going to die. We're all born, we're all going to die. We're all going to go back and meet our maker and give a report as to the way we lived our life. None of us is going to live our life, right? So in God, in humanity, we're all the same, you know. And it helps to be able to see each other as that, not to see this person as Igbo, Jew, Palestine, and all of the other divisions we have, we have those just come along to blind us, right? When all of that is taken away, we go back to our very basic. We're all humans and we all proceed from God. When you look at the genealogy back to Adam, it says Adam, the son of God. We all go back to Adam, and Adam, the son of God. Adam proceeded from God, and we all proceeded from Adam. So we all find our roots, no matter where we track it through, but we all come back to Adam. We are all the same in Adam, right? So, and if we can understand that, then we can, one of the things we said is also that none of us is a stranger. A stranger is just somebody you are meeting for the first time. Not that the person is animal or something strange. It's just yourself that you're meeting for the first time. And all you need to do is be able to open up, interact with that person, and that person is no more a stranger, right? All it takes is a first meet. It takes a first interaction, and that label of stranger is taken away. The other parable or wisdom, ancient wisdom, you might call it, that I've seen, we've talked about as we go through the book, is the one which says that we should rejoice with those that rejoice and sorrow with those that sorrow. And that's something we'll live with every day. We'll live with every day, especially in the social media world. You can easily get depressed if you don't understand, this ancient wisdom. You scroll over on social media, you see every other person is doing well, and maybe your own life is static. And you're tempted to think that you're getting the wrong end of the stick, and you are depressed, you're feeling sorrowful. It's like life has left you, but that's not true. That's not true. For one, most of the things they are seeing online, there are backstories to it that might even be worse than your own. But that's not even what we're talking about here. But whatever it is that you're looking at, whatsoever it is that's happened to any other person, you too can have your own. You too can have your own. To way to bring your own to forth, the way to call your own forth is to rejoice with what you are seeing. Don't let what you are seeing make you sorrowful, because it will only push yours away. What you don't rejoice over, what you cannot celebrate, you cannot have. What you cannot celebrate, you cannot have. So if you see it happening in another person's life, your portion, your place is to celebrate it, because the way you're celebrating it is a magnet by which you call it into your own life. But when you celebrate it, you call it into your own life. You are praying it into your own life when you celebrate it in the life of someone else. What you celebrate in the life of someone else will easily find its way to you. What you don't celebrate in the life of someone else will not find its way to you. Right? When you celebrate, when you rejoice with someone else, you are praying that the thing that is happening to this person, may it also happen to me. You are making your life, as it were, you are preparing your life. You are making your life a magnet for the thing you are rejoicing over in another person's life. And it must be a sincere rejoicing for the prayer to be true. There's also the other side to it, we need to also sorrow with those that sorrow. We don't rejoice over another person's downfall, but we sorrow with them. We don't abuse their seeming temporal momentarily moment of sorrow. But we come down to them as equals and we sorrow with them. We provide a shoulder for them to lean on. We provide our presence to cover them, to cover their nakedness in the time of their weakness. We give them that impression, we give them that truth that they have someone in us, right? So it's rejoicing with those that rejoice, with sorrow with those that sorrow. It's seeing everyone as human, right? And taking away the false label of tribalism, religiosity, and ethnicity, and all of those blindfolds, and seeing beyond those masks to the person that is made in the image and likeness of God. Right? That is what life entails. That is what life entails. And that's the way by which you also open the windows of heaven so that the blessings of God can be to you. Because when you appreciate, you honor God in another person's life, you are honoring God himself. And God is no debtor. He will pay you. When you honor God, he will honor you. When you honor God in another person's life, God will honor you, not that person. So Jesus says, give and it shall be given unto you. Press down, shaken together, and running over. So will men pour into your bosom, right? When you honor God, God will make men to pour into your bosom, right? When you rejoice with another person's joy, God will make men to pour into your bosom. When you sorrow with another person's sorrow, God will make men to be there for you also in the time of your sorrow, in the time of your downfall, in the time of your cold, in the time of your visitation, right? So let's go ahead into chapter 8 today. It talks about wonder, the need, to seek to understand. It ties into Stevie Covey's third law of highly effective people. It says you seek to understand before you are understood. Before you want people to understand you, understand them first of all. That helps. That's the way we relate with people effectively, because when you understand people, then you're able to reach them the way they need to be reached. You are not just throwing things over the fence at them, and they're not, it's not hitting them the right way. But when you understand them, then you're able to get to them the way they need to be gotten to, not the way you want to get to them, but the way they need to be gotten to. Because your intent is not just to throw things at them, is to reach them. And to reach them, you must know where they are to reach them. So it's a place of seeking to understand where people are, why people behave the way they behave, why they respond the way they respond, and how to get your message through to them, right? Or how both of you can come to a common ground as human beings, right? So it takes an effort, right, to do that. The other thing I see in chapter 4 or chapter 8 here also is that place where when you're dealing with emotional tense situation, there's a need to step out of the frame. For me, I'm a counselor, right? So, and I'm a mentor also to a lot of people. Easy to mentor people on situations because I am not emotionally enwrapped in it than than to mentor or counsel myself when I'm in the same situation. Guess the difference? The emotions. I'm emotionally charged in that situation, and my emotions seem to want to override my rationality. I know what is right to be done, but I don't feel like doing it. I know what is right to be done, but I don't feel like doing it. That's why most times I'm counseling people, say, take away all the emotions, take away all the emotions, right? Because sometimes the two don't go together. What is right to be done and what is emotionally, what your emotions want to do, right? And the ability to regulate our emotions is what is called emotional intelligence. That is the way to win in the world. That's the way to win in the marketplace, is the ability to regulate your emotions. Right? Emotions are good, but in the right proportion and in the right place. Your emotions can put you in trouble. Your emotions can open doors to you. It's all about you knowing which emotion to show and in what proportion, in what place, right? It's called emotional intelligence, the ability to regulate your emotions, right? And sometimes it's difficult when you are emotionally involved or charged in a situation, when your ego is also involved in a situation. So one of the things we cancel to do is to step out of the box, step out of the frame, right? As it were, do an out of body experience, right? Come out of it, assume that you're not part of the situation, and it was someone else you were canceling in that situation. What would you cancel that person to do? What would you cancel yourself to do if your emotions were not involved? Right? And you get probably the best situation, best answer in such circumstances. It's also what we call cognitive behavioral therapy, right? Where you are reframing the situation, right? You are taking away the emotions and framing it, in a way that will empower you, in a way that will not get you further, and wrapped or entrapped by the emotions, by the situation, by the circumstance you are facing. You're looking for the solution. You're looking for a place whereby you can determine the end that you want. The end that you want. You're not just at the mercy of the emotions that are flying, but you're trying to determine the end that you want. And you're asking the question, how do I get to the end that I want? Right? Don't forget, you are the master of your emotions. You are the master of your destiny. You are the master of your fate. You are the captain of your soul. You are the captain of your person. How you direct your person will determine the fate, the destiny that you arrive at. You are the master. You are the captain. So use your place, use your position, because it will make a difference to the result that you get. Life is sowing and reaping. It's cause and effect. Nothing just happens. Everything happens because of the cause that was put in effort. So if you know the effect that you want, you know the fate that you want, you know the end that you want, be mindful of the seed that you're sowing. Be mindful of the costs that you're putting out there, because it will determine, as sure ways, it will determine the fate, the destiny, the end, the effect that you get. Right? All right. So let me calm it all down and let's go into the slides, and we'll just take the points as from the book and discuss further. All right. Let me bring up my slide here. We're going to try and bring it up and take it down as many times as we need to go through this. All righty. So it's a book again. It's the Amen Effect, the ancient wisdom to mend our broken hearts and world, right? The quote that goes through, that runs through this chapter, talks about is not hard work to distance yourself from another person. Very easy. Easy to separate yourself from another person. Just cut yourself off. Oh, I don't like him. Very easy. And probably easy for people like me. Extroverts, introverts easy. Extrovert may be difficult. Introverts, the most important person in our life is ourselves. Every other person is Jara. He's extra. We can do without every other person, right? Introvert, we can do without every other person. So it's very easy to take anybody away from our lives. That's a strength and also a weakness, right? But it's difficult to exclude people. That's not the difficult part of life. The real work of life is being able to engage someone else, is to draw near to someone else and lift them up. That's the real work of life. Being able to emotionally be engaged with someone else, to interact, to relate, to be vulnerable, to someone else. That's the real work of life. But that's the only way to get life. You don't get life by being isolated. Yes, you can be in solitude for a certain period, but somehow, sometime, somewhere, you need to come out of solitude, because life is not found in solitude. Solitude is a pulling back of the string of the bow. But at some point in time, you need to let that string go, because that arrow will not fire by pulling back. You need to let it go. You need to engage life. Yes, you can pull it back for a certain period of time, stay in solitude, re-energize. But at some point in time, you need to let that string go, so that arrow can go and hit the target that you are setting it for. You need to engage. Right? None of us was created to live this life on our own, in our own strength. We're here to engage, to connect with some other people. We're here to be a blessing to one another, to other people. The essence of our life is not found on the inside of us. It's found outside of us, in the way we engage with other people. And there's a minimum level of engagement we must have. It's not a choice. We must have. Because if you don't have that minimum level of engagement, you're going to become lonely. Lonely is not of the devil. Loneliness is just like headache. It's telling you something is amiss. It's a symptom. It's a symptom that something is amiss in your life, that you're not having the right level of social engagement. That's all loneliness is telling you. And the only solution to loneliness is to have social engagement, interact with other human beings, not your dog. Your time with your dog, your cat will not solve loneliness in your life. You are only delaying the evil day. Loneliness is solved only by interacting with other human beings, not pets. Right? So, irrespective of what it is, we need to engage one another. Winning in life is learning how to engage with one another. It's called social fitness. It's the ability to engage with other people and maintain that engagement. It's the ability to engage, create relationship, and maintain existing ones, or maintain the relationship you create. It's called your social fitness, and you need it to win in this life. Just as much as you need physical fitness to win in this life, you need social fitness to win in this life. Otherwise, you'll die before your time. Same way, lack of physical fitness can kill you. Lack of social fitness can kill you also, and make you less than all that God life is meant to give to you. Right? So let's go on here. So I'm going to wear my glasses to see this better. So, open-hearted, authentic human connection, right? It's what we've been talking about the last 2-3 months. It's spiritual and biological necessity, right? We need to engage. We need to engage with one another. We said otherwise you'll be lonely, but it also affects us. Loneliness can kill us, both physically, can result in physical sickness, can affect us psychologically, it can duplicate our mental efficacy. It can also duplicate us spiritually, right? So it is a spiritual, psychological, biological necessity that we engage with one another, right? It's also the key to belonging and antidote to loneliness. We've said that. It can also be the deepest expression of faith, honoring the image of God in us, right? To engage, to relate with other people is an expression of our faith in God, right? It's an expression of the love of God on the inside of us. The Bible would say that if I say I love God and I don't love the human being that I can see, I can touch, I'm a liar. We love God by loving the image and likeness he has put here that we can touch and see. It's easy to say I love God that I don't see, I don't touch. It's easy, because the one I say I love here can easily step on my nerves, can get me hungry, can do things I don't like. But the only way I can show my love for the God that I don't see is by loving the difficult human being that I see. It's difficult here. It's not easy. No one has said it's easy, but it's worth making the effort to love the one that I can touch and see, because there's a lot of benefit in doing that. And it's something that's mandated in the way of God, right? Uh, our connections gives our lives purpose and meaning, right? We get our purpose and meaning by engaging with one another. I get purpose and meaning by engaging with you here, coming here to do this book club. As much as I'm getting benefit from doing it, reading the book and learning all that I'm learning. But this gives me an opportunity to say to myself again by using the excuse that I'm saying it to you. Because again, the first person that's listening to everything I'm saying right now is myself, right? Yes, I'm using you as an excuse, but I'm saying this to myself, and I'm the first listener, and I'm the first benefactor of but connecting with one another, we get meaning and purpose, right? If you're married, you get meaning and purpose of being a spouse, of being a parent, relating with your children, right? I'm responsible for three beautiful girls that are my daughters, right? I have meaning, purpose, and being their parent, right? And being responsible for their evolution to adulthood, evolution to being parents themselves, evolution to standing on their 2 feet. My dear friend told me, was sharing with me on Thursday, that his first daughter is going to get married, right? I was there when he got married. Now he's had children, and his first daughter is going to get married here. That's awesome. Those are the things that give us joy, 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 joy. And it comes from relationship, right? When we can rejoice with one another, we can sorrow with one another, we can celebrate with one another. We can be there for one another. We can see ourselves in one another. That's what makes life worth living. If you don't have someone else in your life, you are depressed. You aren't living, you are only existing. Living is being able to do things with other people. Living is being able to do things with other people. When you have someone that will smile at you, you can make someone laugh. Someone can make you laugh. Someone can tell them they see you. They see you. You are important to them. You are making a difference in their life. You're leaving a mark in their life. Oh, this is what you did. Someone was telling me how his life has changed, by being related to me. That makes me happy. Obviously, it gives me some level of pride, and there's nothing wrong about it, right? That I'm not just wasting the oxygen I'm taking in as I'm passing through this life. The oxygen that I'm taking is being used for something good. Is leaving a mark in somebody's life. We find purpose in one another. We find purpose in relating one another, making a difference for one another, right? It helps us to approach moments of joy and pain authentically. Yeah, when we relate to one another, we're not just acting, we're living it. It's coming from a deep recess of our being. It helps us both, it helps both the wounded and the healer, right? When we relate, we can be a blessing to those that are wounded, hurt, as much as we that in a place of healing with them are also blessed. When I'm rejoicing with somebody, I'm blessed. When I'm sorrowing with somebody, I'm blessed. The person that's been rejoiced with is blessed. The person that's been sorrowed with is blessed. It's not a one-sided thing. It's a human thing. When we connect, we're blessing one another. Again, don't forget, we talk about healthy relationship. A healthy relationship is the one in which people come into because of what they can give, not what they can receive, right? It's because of what they can give and not what they can receive. Because what keeps it together is what they receive, not what they give, right? So there is a giving and there is a receiving. There is a giving and there's a receiving in a reciprocal way, not just one person giving or one person receiving, but everybody's giving and everybody's receiving. It's what the scripture says in Ephesians chapter 4. It says that the body grows by that which each joint supplies. It does not some joint. Each joint supplies. Everyone is supplying something. Everybody's supplying from their strength and gaining the areas of their weakness. That's what makes us grow. That's what makes us to be vibrant. That's what increases us, right? And it won't save us, but matters profoundly nonetheless. Yes, I mean, as we relate, it doesn't mean that it will take away the evil day. The evil day will come, but we're able to face it with our quivers full. We're able to face it not naked, having people with us to face it, right? None of this say it means that the adversity will not come. It will come. Adversity is a part of life. None of this it says that the storm won't come. The storm will come. The difference is that when it comes, you're ready. Life is not about preventing the storm, right? Life is about being ready when the storm comes. Life is not about praying away the adversity. Life is being strong enough for every adversity that comes my way. That's why the Lord's Prayer says, lead us into temptation. God be with me as I go through the temptations on my path, right? Be with me, carry me through it, and deliver me from evil. Don't let the evil overcome me, right? Important thing is being delivered from the evil. The important thing is the evil not overcoming you, not that you are running away from a temptation. You will go through temptation for as long as you are in this life. It's a part of living. The important thing is that you are stronger than every temptation you face along the way. The important thing is that the evil, the adversity, the storm does not overpower you. That is what's important. And that's what we'll get, as we are there for one another, as we each build also. Don't forget, like I say all the time, and I've said all through this time reading this book, right? That and I've said all through this time reading this book, that it is important and it is each of us duty, and I put out a quote this week, the greatest thing, gift that we have for one another is taking care of our own self, is our wholeness. What we all bring to the table when we relate is our wholeness. It's not the silver, it's not the gold, it's not your bank account that's important when you're relating with other people. It's that you are well. It's that when we come together, you are well. You're able to provide from your strength. I'm able to provide from my strength, right? That is the greatest gift we give to ourselves, is our wholeness. Our wholeness, and I'm whole, I'm not sick. I'm doing my best to take care of myself, because I cannot be a blessing to someone else if I am sick. The biggest gift we give to ourselves is that I'm whole. I'm taking care of my wholeness. I'm doing my part. Sometimes my part is not enough. Then we'll need a helping hand, no problem. But if I've not done my part to be whole, then I'm becoming a parasite. I'm becoming a weak link in the relationship. I'm becoming a drain in the relationship. I'm becoming a broken hedge through where the serpent is going to come in and bite the relationship and destroy the relationship. I'm becoming the doorway to evil coming into that relationship. We hold one another to take care of our own self. The first thing we do in a relationship is not taking care of someone else, but taking care of your own self. Because until you are taken care of, you cannot take care of someone else. You take care of yourself physically, make sure you're well. Do everything to be well. Nobody can take care of you like you can take care of yourself. You hold every relationship you find yourself to take care of yourself. Take care of yourself physically, do all you can. Do all you time to take care of yourself psychologically. Read books, build your mind up. Read books, meditate. Take care of yourself psychologically. Take care of yourself spiritually. Be connected to something that is bigger than you. Be connected to God or whatever it is for you that is bigger than you. Be connected to that thing. Be well physically, be well psychologically, be well spiritually. It makes it easy for you then to relate with other people. Your social fitness depends on you being well. Because when you come into a healthy, life-giving relationship, it's not about what you can get, it's about what you can give. If you have not, first of all, taken care of yourself, you have not come to know yourself and fall in love with yourself, how can you fall in love with someone else? That's why people have broken relationship, because they don't know themselves. They're not falling in love with themselves. They are going to relationship because of what they can get, not what they can give. They are looking for love because they don't love themselves. Instead of bringing love to share with someone else, they are looking for love in that relationship. Therefore, they cannot have a healthy, life-giving relationship. They go into a relationship where they are abused. Someone is using the deficiency in their life against them. And that's because you allowed it. Because you are not taking care of yourself. You are relegating that to someone else to do for you. We're not talking about being perfect. We're saying do your best wherever you find yourself. Do all you can do to take care of yourself. Do your part. Let it be that when someone comes, they're coming to help you with what you're already doing. Not that you just go, I don't know how to do it. Come and help me. Do your best. Do your best. Do your part. Do your part. Let it be the foundation of your life. Someone else can then come and build on that foundation. Don't go with it. Don't go to another person without a foundation. Do your part. Do your best. Do all you can with all that you know to take care of yourself. Then your relationship can build on what you already have. Don't go empty. Don't go empty. We hold to each of ourselves to be whole. Our wholeness is what we hold to one another. That's what we'll bring into a relationship. That's how we can truly build a life-giving, healthy relationship. Where there's no master and servant, but we see ourselves as equal, coming into that relationship to bless one another, to increase one another. Alrighty. So having said all of that, we're keying in here in this chapter on a challenge that comes also in the middle of all of this, right? Everything we've said is just on the normal ground, but then we have places where we need to relate with people that are diametrically or opposite to us. There seemingly are no overlaps, even though there are overlaps. Because for as long as there's another human being, there's an overlap. That overlap at the minimum is the fact that we're all humans. But sometimes we don't see that overlap of humanity. Or sometimes that's the only overlap that we have. In those cases, we need a little bit more to be able to break through to one another. Because when you don't see an overlap that you can relate, you need a minimum of humanity to be able to relate to one another. So the initial engagement is to even find that humanity between you, right? And that's what, so Anna Arendt puts it this way. It says, terror can rule absolutely only over men who are isolated against each other. So when there's isolation, there's no interaction, you can't relate. You can't relate because you don't see any commonality between yourself. The minimum you should see is at least humanity, but you can cancel that humanity if you don't talk to one another. You don't even consider one another. You don't even find out anything about those people. Then your mind is not seeing them as humans, it's seeing them as number. So it's easy to kill one another because you just see number. That's why people can be thrown into gas chambers. That's why people can be chained as slaves, because that's why people can be raped, people can be massacred, because you're not seeing the other person as human, you're seeing them as a number, right? So terror can rule absolutely only over men who are isolated against each other. Therefore, one of the primary concerns of all tyrannical government is to bring this isolation about. So if a government wants you to, to be against one another, not to be united against them, they try to isolate you. They try to remind you the ethnic group you belong to. Oh, you are Igbo, don't forget it. You are Yoruba, don't forget it. You are Hausa, oh, we are marginalized. People try to create that division. They try to take away the overlap, the place where we see each other as one. For example, my country will see each other as Nigerians, not just ethnic group, not just whether you're Christian, Muslim. Focus on the things that bring us together and not the things that separate us, right? But a tyrannical government will want to focus on the things that separate us. That's how they get us not to see the human in one another. Isolation may be the beginning terror. It certainly is its most fertile ground. It always is its result. So if people want to put you against one another, they focus on the things that separate you, not the things that bring you together. But when we relate to one another, and if we want to break that genes, our place is to focus on the things that bring us together, right? Not the things that separate us, right? So isolation is important, right? When you're isolated from other people, there's no potency in that relationship, right? You need a level of being able to see the other person to be able to, be kind towards that person. It's that place where, you need to be able to see the other person, as human, just like you. And I remember that's the golden rule. The golden rule says that you should treat others as you would love to be treated yourself. But if you can't see yourself in the other person, then it's difficult for you to treat that person as you would love to be treated also, right? So, and that's the danger of isolation, right? Alone and apart, we're powerless, right? We need to be able to see ourselves in one another. When we're alone and apart, we're powerless. Well, there's no power in our relationship. Human beings from birth are wired for connection, right? We all seek connection. That's the way we're built. That's what creates loneliness when we don't have social engagement. You might call it a curse. You might call it a blessing, because if you don't relate, you're gonna feel lonely, and loneliness can kill you. It's call it a curse if you want, call it a weakness if you want, but we're created to seek connection, and that connection could also be a blessing or a curse on its own, because if you allow the connection to control you, you can become a slave to it. Don't forget, everything it needs to be measured and controlled. Like we say all the time, the devil is in the adverbs. The road to hell is paved with adverbs. Too much or too less, right? We're wired for connection, but that connection must never be such that it controls us. Is that we still control it. We use it in measured ways, in the right place, at the right time, in the right way, right? Our connections, our desire for connections makes us to be tribal. We seek family, right? And there's nothing wrong in being a family. But even in family or tribal settings, we must never allow that family or tribe to control us. We must use it, not allow it to use us. We don't become in a family such that we're then against other families. No. But because we're in one family, doesn't mean that we should not see other families as human beings. The intent, essence of a family is to strengthen us, to help us, to cover us, right? Not to kill us, right? So we don't allow those families to take us away from a path that is right. Tribal attachments can be meaningful and beneficial. A sense of belonging can be a source of strength and purpose, right? When you find yourself in families, in a tribe, in a people that love you, people that see you, people that understand you, people that listen to you, people that get you, it gives you strength and purpose. But you have to be careful that doesn't then put you against other families, right? Curiosity is the birthplace of compassion, right? When we're curious about other people, it helps us to be compassionate about them, right? But the greater the psychological distance between us and the other, the less curious we are about another, right? If there's a big disparity psychologically, we're not curious about them. We don't even see them as humans. We see them as a number. That's a danger, that's danger in psychological isolation, where people believe different things, like as general religious people, that Muslims believe one thing, Christians believe one thing, and if they stay separate, they could see themselves as number and will not care for one another. It helps me to see, even though I'm a Christian, I'm a Muslim, not forget that we have an overlap. We're all humans, right? You can believe what you want to believe, right? But that should not disturb me believing what I want to believe. And that should not take away the fact that we're humans, right? We're all here on this planet and we have no other planet, right? It's live and let live. I have a right to what I believe. You have a right to what you believe. It's called tolerance, right? And your belief should not get in the way of my belief. My belief should not get in the way of your belief, right? That's important. So the call of our time is to establish new neural patterns. You know, lack of curiosity, fear, isolation, expulsion, tribal biases, are whole neural patterns, right? Things you're used to, right? But we have to be careful that those things don't bring us against one another, right? We need to not come to a place where it seems like my belief does not have space for your belief. That's not being human. My belief has space for your belief because your belief is a choice. Belief is not a force. Belief is a choice. If you choose on my secondary school WhatsApp platform, there are some people that feel that they want to go to hell. And guess what? I have no problem with that. They want to go to hell. I'm going to help them go to hell. I'm going to pray for them. But if they want, I'm not going to force them to go to heaven, right? It's your choice. We'll pray for them, but they have to make that choice at the end of the day. I can't force them to go to a place they don't want to go. I'm going to pray that their lights, their eyes are open. I'm going to be an example for them to see, but the final decision is theirs. And because they want to go to hell doesn't mean that I'm not going to be their friend. We're still going to be friends because we belong to the same alumni. We're in the same WhatsApp group. I love you regardless of your choice. Because you've made a choice, otherwise, on a choice I make doesn't make you my enemy, right? It makes me probably feel for you that you probably don't understand. That's why you're making a choice that you're making. I'm going to hope that one day you'll know better and see better, but I'm not going to see you less human because of the choice that you've made, right? Obviously, there are some barriers here when we talk about things that are probably not legal. We're talking about things that cross the legal line. Even when it crosses the legal line, we still need to respect the human. But obviously, we're not going to support something that is not legal, right? So we need a spiritual rewiring that enables us to see one another in our pain, in our fear, in our joy, and in our yearning, right? See us where we are, right? The person that wants to go to hell is because he's limited in his vision. The one that, being able to see each other in our pain, is probably because he's been disappointed before. Someone has let him down who's in faith. He has expected some things and he didn't get those things for whatever reason. It's where he is. It's not for me then to ostracize him. It's not for me to push him down. It's for me to bring him up. It's for me to love him where he is, not wait till I gets to where I want him to be. We have to love one another where we are. That's the only way we can be a blessing, and help one another out of the pit, out of the miry clay, onto the rock to stand. Right? We cannot change global injustice today if we. I'm wear my glasses on this one. We cannot change global injustice today if we isolate ourselves in places that are safe and removed and disconnected. To change the world, we're each going to have to find ways to get closer to people who are living on the margins of society. That's the only way we're going to reach the world, being able to go where the people are. But yeah, but your safety has to be a consideration. You only do that when you've considered it to be safe physically, safe psychologically, and safe spiritually. Don't go to a place that you don't have the grace for, but you're saying within the limit of where you find yourself, right? Be open, to love people where they are. Be open to love people where they are. Don't wait for people to come out of where they are to love them. Love them where they are, because that's what God will have us do. Love them where they are. The love you have for them where they are might bring them to the place where they need to be. If you wait for them to get to where they need to be, they'll probably never get there. They'll probably never leave the miry clay. We need to love one another where we are, right? And leave the choice to that person as to the next move based on the love the person sees, the light the person sees. We're not called to change one another. We're called to love one another. What we do here is influence one another, not change someone else, because none of us is God over the other. We're God over ourselves. We're God over our situations. We're not God over another human being. We're called to influence, not override or be God over another person. Trying to be God over another person is called witchcraft, right? And that's a sin. That's against God. That's of the devil. We can influence someone else, right? But we can't override their decisions, right? So you love people where they are, right? And your love will influence them, right? So we can't solve problems of building bridges from a distance. If you want to build bridges with people, it's not throwing things over the fence. It's going to where people are, right? And being close to those people, seeing them, understanding them, feeling them, and getting them. That's how you build bridges with one another, right? It's not just throwing things. That's how people, husband and wife, grew apart. Because one thing that all I do is what I do, with my heart not being there. The wife thinks that the way to a man's heart is food, so you give the food, but you don't love the person. You're not there for the person. You're not seeing the person. You're not seeing the troubles, the pain, the change in the face. You're just giving the food, food. Or you are the husband just giving the money. That's then love. We can't solve problems by building bridges from a distance. You need to be vulnerable. You need to move closer. You need to let the person know that you see him or her, that you understand him or her, that you get him or her, you feel him or her. That's what's important. It's not the food, it's not the money, it's your person, it's your attention that we all need. We all need one another, not the things that we can give, right? There is power when we get proximate. Only then can we have mercy and compassion. We can only have mercy and compassion when we see each other as human beings, when we see our own selves in another person. Then that's when we know what it is to have mercy and compassion. When we see God, the image of God in my fellow man, the mercy can arise and compassion can arise. Be kind, for every person is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Everyone has their own battle struggles they're going through. As I was reading this part, I just remembering a former colleague of mine, that each time I think about him, I just call him stupid, But looking at it again, he probably has struggles in his life he was going through, and he didn't know how to communicate it. And the only way he could communicate it was to be antagonistic with everybody else, But yeah, if if I had more time to spend with him, maybe we'll find a way to break through, But at the same time, everybody needs to protect their own heart. You have to do it in a way. Again, don't do it in a place where you're not safe. If you're trying to break through to somebody, make sure that you are safe physically, psychologically, and spiritually. Don't go to a place where you're being beaten psychologically and becoming less than yourself. You aren't going to be a blessing to someone else when you are being less than yourself. Don't forget the gift that we hold one another is our wholeness. My wholeness physically, my wholeness psychologically, my wholeness spiritually. That's what we bring to the table to be able to relate to one another and get a healthy and life-giving relationship. If I'm not whole, then I can't be a blessing. If I'm not whole, then I'm most probably going to be abused myself. We're not talking about being perfect. We're talking about making the best of what you have and bringing your best to the table, right? So last slide here. I thought we wouldn't be able to finish this, but we're in a home run here. In every story of our lives, we can choose to be a victim, a hero, or a learner. So says Reverend Head Backer. Everything that goes on in our life, every encounter we have, even with this one I spoke about, my old colleague here, I could have chosen to be a victim. Yes, I chose I was the victim, and I fought back. I could choose to be the hero. In one part, I was the hero, in my fighting back. But in all of that, I could have better than the first two is I could choose to be a learner. And that's where I can look back and say, hey, maybe it was fighting a battle I had knew nothing about. And that's my better stance today, even at work, where I've had different kind of fight, relationship issues with some people, and as I come in a mature place today, I'm in a place of a learner, trying to see what the other person is going through, trying to take myself away from the incubement of the immediate emotions and coming outside the frame to see how things are playing and see how best or what best to do to get the result that I want. It's not about winning every battle. It's about winning the war. You're looking at the battle and seeing the ones I need to let go, the ones that are critical that I put my feet down, the ones I don't have to put my feet down on so that I can win the war at the end of the day. The war is more important than the battles. The battles make the war, but the war is the most important thing. If you're going to win the war, it might mean that you don't have to win every battle. You know which ones are the critical battles, and you put all your energy on the critical battles. You measure on the majors and minor in the minors, right? That's what it takes to regulate your emotion and not let your emotion have the better of you, not let your emotion be lord over you. You lord it over your emotion, and you use your emotion to get the target, the goal, the vision, the mission that you are about, right? And not be lost by your emotion. So don't be a victim. Don't be a hero either. Be a learner. Ask yourself, ask yourself, what can I learn from this encounter? What can I learn from this moment? What can I learn from this interplay? Learn it and use it so that you can be the master of your fate, the master of your destiny, the captain of your soul, the captain of your career, your captain of your ministry, your captain of your company. And you can direct it where you want it to go. Not that you cry, oh, hey, it was because of this. No, it wasn't because of anything. Whatever you did is because you made a decision to do it. Wherever you are is because you made an appointment to be there. by the things you did and did not do. So now is the time to make the decision on the things to do and the things not to do, so that when you get to where you get to, you will be proud of the decisions that you made. You'll be proud of the things that you learned and the things that you did, right? So thank you. Thank you for another time, coming to go through our chapter 8 of our book, The Amen Effect. And the Amen Effect is all about being able to regulate my emotion, being there for one another, seeing each other as human beings, and being able to break the divide, and be a blessing, a help to one another. I hope you enjoyed our time together today. That's all I got, for today's session. So I'll be back next week, Sunday, 2 p.m., and go through the epilogue. If we can use that also to do a summary of the book, that'll be great. Because if we can do that, then we can start the new year with our new book. So we'll do the first Sunday in the new year with our new book, The Gold Mine Effect, and How to Crack the Secrets of High Performance by Rasmus Enkersen. And we'll use that to power 2025. I look forward to that. So come join me and let's share the truths in that together, and be a blessing to one another. My dear brother Wale made it out here today. Hey, Wale AR, how are you doing? Thank you. I'm about done here. I'm going to call it quit. You can get to go through everything was shared on Instagram reel, my Instagram reel. Once I'm done here, you'll see it there. You get it on my YouTube channel. It's going to be on Facebook. And one day it will come on our platform also. But thanks for stopping by. God bless you. Appreciate you. Have a great week. God bless you. God bless you. For those of you listening on YouTube channel, YouTube Live, those of you listening on my blog site, thanks also for coming along. God bless you. Do have a great week ahead of you here. This is our Christmas week. Yes, Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to you. Have a joyful Christmas week, and we'll see before the New Year. So God bless you. Shalom. Bye-bye.